The Maghrib call to prayer echoed all around. In the hospital, the staff were busy preparing dinner. At that very moment, standing on the ground floor of the hospital was Abra. After waiting a long time for his father, who had not yet arrived, he began to walk inside. As he walked further, he noticed that this part of the hospital was eerily empty. A shiver ran down Abra's spine. Around him were several closed rooms. Eventually, he stopped in front of one. On the door, written in bold letters, "Mortuary. Entry prohibited." Since the room was locked from outside, he couldn't see what was inside. Abra stood staring at the door. "Hey boy, why are you standing here? Don't you know it's forbidden to come here?" Startled, Abra turned around and saw a ward boy standing behind him. The sudden question made him nervous. Stammering a little, he replied, "I came here looking for my father." "Who's your father? Why would your father be near the morgue?" "My father is Dr. Asad Shafiq." "Oh, so you're Sir Shafiq's son. He went to pray. He will never come here. You shouldn't be here either. Something might happen if you see the wrong thing." The ward boy's voice turned grave at the end. "What do you mean? What's there to see that something could happen to me? Sometimes things appear here, things you wouldn't be able to handle." Abra didn't believe in the supernatural. He laughed and said, "Don't talk nonsense. I don't believe in such things. It's natural that you young people don't believe. Anyway, come on, I think your father's prayer is over. Let's head toward the mosque. But don't come here again." As they reached the mosque, Abra saw his father stepping out after prayer. He ran up to him. "Father, I waited for you downstairs for a long time. Then I wandered near the morgue." "What? Why did you go there? Don't you know it's forbidden?" "I didn't know the morgue was there. Then a ward boy asked me why I was standing there." "A ward boy? Dr. Asad Shafiq looked surprised. At Maghrib time no one goes near the morgue. Those off duty come to the mosque, and the rest stay in the wards assisting the doctors." Abra was shocked. Then who was the ward boy? "Still," he said, "maybe someone went there for some work." "Impossible. No one goes there at this hour. The morgue opens only after midnight and closes at dawn. Besides, today it's officially closed." "Did you notice the ward boy's name?" "Yes, he was well built and handsome. His badge said Sujay." Dr. Shafiq's face fell. He looked shaken. Avoiding the subject, he said, "Abra, never go there again. Let's go home. Your mother is waiting." "But father, do you know Sujay? You're hiding something from me." "I don't know anyone." "Enough. Let's go." Abra fell silent and walked beside his father. It was midnight. The city lay in silence, its people asleep, as raindrops tapped against windows. The atmosphere was heavy, eerie. Crossing the hospital gate, Abra headed straight for the morgue. After walking some distance, he reached the door. Strangely, there was no lock. Delighted, he quietly pushed the door open. Inside, a faint light flickered. But father said it was closed today, then how is there light inside? Abra thought. He stepped in. The room was empty except for a body covered with a white sheet on a steel table. Slowly he walked forward. At the freezer, with trembling hands, he opened the door. Inside were 3 mutilated corpses. Unable to bear it, he slammed the door shut. When he turned around, he froze. 4 men were sitting on chairs. "Well, if it isn't Abra. When did you come in?" "I didn't see anyone here." "And how do you know my name?" "We just came. Since you were opening the freezer, we didn't interrupt. We've heard a lot about you from your father. We even saw your photo on his phone. That's how we recognized you. But the morgue is closed tonight. Why are you here?" "We're off duty. Thought we'd hang out together. This is the quietest place in the hospital, so we came here." "Oh, I see. May I join you?" Of course. Pull up a chair. Abra sat down. One of them asked, "No one comes here, especially this late at night. What brought you here?" "I've never seen the inside of the morgue. I've asked Father many times, but he never lets me in. So I sneaked here tonight." "But why does everyone forbid coming here? Bodies of the dead are brought here. Some are decapitated, some mangled, some suicides. Sometimes these bodies come alive. And evil spirits roam this place often. Even in the daytime, you can see corpses lying around." Abra laughed. "You're trying to scare me with stories. Dead bodies don't come alive, and ghosts don't exist. You don't believe us. What if something bad happens to you right now?" Abra looked down, and his blood ran cold. None of the 4 men had legs. The floor was soaked in blood. As he lifted his gaze, he saw their grotesque smiles. Suddenly the light went out. Terrified, Abra stumbled to his feet. He crashed into something and fell. Switching on his phone's flashlight, he saw the body on the steel table. It was one of the men he had just spoken with. His throat went dry. He tried calling his father, but there was no network. Then he heard the freezers creak and shift. But how could corpses move? The freezer doors began to open slowly. Abra's body froze in terror. The 4 corpses rose and began walking. A cold hand touched him. He braced himself for death. When suddenly, there was a knock at the door. The lights flickered back on. Everything looked normal again. The door burst open. Dr. Assad Shafiq and 2 security guards rushed in. His father grabbed him tightly. "Abra, thank God you're alive. I had almost lost hope. Father, you came late, I would have died." It was horrific. Abra sobbed. "This morgue is cursed. Many have seen strange things here. The ward boy Sujay you mentioned, he was a good boy, loved by everyone. But 2 years ago, his mutilated body was found here. People believe he accidentally entered alone. No one should enter without company. Some say they still see him wandering, warning others so they don't repeat his mistake. That's why he stopped you earlier." Dr. Shafiq sighed heavily. "When I didn't find you in your room, I knew you must have come here. From childhood you've been stubborn, always doing what you set your mind to. That's why I rushed straight here." Abra finally realized his mistake. Going into the morgue alone at midnight had been reckless. His stubbornness had nearly cost him his life.